They did it. They stuck the landing. Welcome to Bite Size Bunny. My name's Tony, and today we are going to be talking about Life is Strange Reunion. This is the final chapter in the Max and Chloe saga, and in this game we actually get to play as both Max and Chloe. Max has learned that Caledon University is in danger of this massive fire that is going to destroy everyone and everything in its path, and only she is able to stop it. Meanwhile, Chloe is having these reoccurring visions and nightmares of memories that never actually happened to her, and she is desperately trying to figure out what is going on, so she goes to Max in hopes of finding some answers. Once the two reunite, the partners in time work together and hopefully are able to save the students and faculty of Caledon University. This is one of my favorite franchises in gaming. I don't think there is a single bad installment in the series. I was disappointed by Double Exposure. I wouldn't say it's a bad game, but it definitely left me feeling a little weary about how they were going to pull things off with Reunion. But thankfully, Deck 9 did the damn thing. Max and Chloe are back, and they are better than ever. Seeing these significantly more mature versions of these characters reconnect for the first time in years and having to kind of relearn each other was such a sincere direction for this story to take with them. But despite the two having their lives take them in completely different directions, this still feels like the Max and Chloe that we know and love. This game has so many heartfelt and heartwarming moments sprinkled throughout it, and if you're a fan of these characters, this game is meant for you. Not only does this game work exceptionally well as a send-off for Max and Chloe's characters, but the way they go about tying in the characters and events from Double Exposure was surprisingly way more satisfying than I was expecting as well. While some of the characters I loved from Double Exposure kind of take a backseat to things in Reunion, this game still manages to highlight other characters from that previous installment in ways that I was pleasantly surprised by. And I think my favorite returning character from Double Exposure was Moses. He was a standout character for me in Double Exposure, and in this installment, he actually ends up being one of the main characters in this adventure, and he really gets his chance to shine here. I love this character, and I love how he is utilized in this story. It was also really fun getting to see how he played off of Chloe and getting to watch as their own personal relationship continued to evolve throughout this experience. I'm also thrilled to share that the mystery in Reunion is very satisfying, and it managed to get its hooks into me very early on. The game opens up telling the player that it is up to you to find all of the clues and evidence pertaining to what causes the fire that burns down Caledon. And when you get to the finale of this game, it becomes quickly apparent that all of your actions and everything you learned throughout your playthrough does have a direct impact on how things unfold in the last act of the game, which immediately made me want to replay through the entire game and see what all decisions I could have made to change the outcome of my finale. I do think this game has some pacing issues here and there. There's definitely a few sections that drag on a little longer than they needed to, and then by the time you get to the end of the section, it kind of feels like it was artificially dragged out for no other reason than to pad out the runtime. And I think my only major gripe with this game is that every Life is Strange game has that final decision that you have to make. Some of them are great and they genuinely leave you sitting there contemplating the two decisions that are laid out before you, while other ones feel like relatively easy choices to make and they're kind of just there. With Reunion, the choice you're given at the end of this game feels like such a difficult decision to make. I genuinely had my jaw drop whenever the decision was presented to me, and I kind of just sat there for a few minutes talking with my best friend that I played through this game with, weighing out our decisions that we had to make here, kind of going through all of the pros and cons and what this could mean for these characters depending on which ending we went with. But then when I finally made the decision, there was something there that kind of just felt a little off to me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it felt like there was something that was just missing. So I replayed through the other ending to see if the outcome was any better or worse, and it basically ended up being the same ending either way, which was kind of a bummer. It was very clear that they had a specific ending for these characters in mind, and so the endings that are presented to you here feel kind of pointless. And I think I would have preferred if they just committed to giving us the ending they wanted to give us, instead of giving us this illusion of a choice. For the record, the ending of this game is not bad by any means. I just feel like like it could have had a stronger impact if they chose to lean into one of the directions they had there, and then they could have let those last few minutes of the story feel a little more cleanly executed. Overall, I'm happy to say I loved my time with Life is Strange Reunion. This is a very satisfying conclusion to the Max and Chloe story, and it doesn't feel like it takes away from any of the previous installments whatsoever. And if this does happen to also be the end of the Life is Strange series, at least it's ending on a high note. I'm going to be giving Life is Strange Reunion an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff. And what is your favorite Life is Strange game? I'd love to know.